So, where should we begin? Let's talk about the fundamental shifts in scope and scale. How is IoT really going to drive the adoption of technology and drive, as a result of the penetration of devices into so many areas of our life, that it will generate new services, new applications, even new content. If we compare the evolution of adoption in technology starting back to the early 1990s, where every home was starting to get its first 10, you have a 10 times growth in scale of the adoption of technology as individuals were equipping themselves with either feature phones or, more often now, smartphones. If we move into the future 20 years from 2010, you could see that homes, businesses, cars, cities are going to be equipped with all manner of devices, whether they're sensor hubs or Wi-Fi gateways, security cameras, smart door locks, smart light bulbs, smart office equipment, multiple units inside vehicles, people carrying wearables on their person, whether it's shoes or smart watches or fitness bands or smart glasses, all different kinds of things, even clothing starting to get connected within that time frame. You can just see how it's going to multiply. The number of elements within our lives are integrated with some technology. So in the IoT world, it's about connecting the world, providing more connected things, and with all these connected things, there's going to be more interactions between people and things and between things and other things. And that's going to drive more data, and from that data will come more intelligence within the network. So organizations and systems will be able to plan more effectively to control and regulate resources, conserve them, more accurately allocate them. And so data analytics is going to become more valuable, whether it's being analyzed by people or automatically incorporated by those things into processes to make sure that buses are full and buses are more available at bus stops, or that access to critical resources is automated for individuals or things that need to move about, robots and cars, for example. So we're going to have new applications that emerge as a result of new categories of interactions and new ways to analyze data for the benefit of those societies. And that's going to result from those new apps in a whole range of new services that benefits all of the members of the communities. This is fundamental changes in services that we all readily recognize and enjoy today. For example, the world's largest taxi company, like Uber, doesn't itself own any taxis. So it's able to exploit the presence of all these cars that have available bandwidth, and they're connected through their drivers, through their smartphones. And they're able to arbitrage this and provide greater value for society by reducing cost and increasing availability of those resources. Likewise, the world's most popular media companies, they create no content. The content is created by the users. The world's most valuable retailers don't own any inventory, like Alibaba, right? And the world's largest accommodation provider, Airbnb, doesn't own any hotel rooms, but they're able to aggregate all of the unused rooms around the world and enable a marketplace between the people who own those facilities and the people who want to cost-effectively find lodging. That's just a small taste of what is yet to come as we have more and more things connected and more services leveraging the presence of those things within our global network. So what MediaTek is identifying is, what are those adjacent opportunities that MediaTek is participating in, and how can we accelerate the adoption of IoT technology into those adjacent markets and drive innovation and create new businesses and new customers. So the three that we identify as being very closely adjacent are wearables, smart home, and connected car. If you think about the workers, workers who go to an office and people who live in homes, You know, they have very similar needs, that they're in environments where there's a lot of electronics and there's power, and there's a need for more security, more productivity, more convenience in their environments, whether they're driving to work or working in an office, or whether they're at home and want these benefits as well. And one of these elements that can combine these environments together and surround them with these services is wearables, right? Something that can identify them in their environments and provide access to information, and also perhaps be a key to unlock a door, or to register them in a room, or provide them with notifications, or give them choices about services in their areas. So fast and flexible IP integrations is one area where MediaTek really shines. You know, we integrate all of the most popular connectivity standards into our solutions. We provide them as a solution on a chip offering to our partners. We have supply chains that we work with to help our customers bring their products from concept to market. And we also have a lot of premium multimedia services embedded into our systems on a chip that comes from our legacy as being leaders in digital TV, DVD players, consumer electronics, smartphones, and feature phones. So we're able to bring a lot of those services directly into the IoT offerings that our customers work with. Oops, I'm sorry. Here we go. So our strategy to create and capture IoT value with our partners is to orchestrate. So as our partners are adopting our IoT platforms and begin innovating and creating their concepts, you know, we help orchestrate from our supply chain partners how to help them do prototyping, or how to introduce them to a design house to perfect their software or their hardware designs, and even how to get to mass production through our value chain. Also, we have an intense focus on specific vertical domains where we have leadership, and we can help accelerate leading products from our partners and our developers into the market. And we can accelerate innovation by making it easy to integrate this wireless connectivity and other aspects, sensors and peripherals, into leading designs from our customers. So in the case of IoT, as well as in the case of other generations of technology, it's about the democratization process, how technologies mature. I think one great example was in the smartphone market, how the operating systems from Apple and from Google, for example, Android platform and iOS, they matured and they integrated a lot of benefits that before their existence were making it difficult for developers to create apps that were broadly adopted. And you could see that as the democratization factor in mobile apps. And what we're seeing is in IoT, a very similar shift is occurring with the presence of technologies like 3D printing and low-cost laser cutting, and the presence of hardware kits, whether it's Raspberry Pi or Arduino, and the presence now of many module makers entering into the market with an appetite to work with smaller MOQs, minimum order quantities. All of this is coming together along with the rise of incubators and funds that are identifying IoT as the next wave in our industry and are trying to fund those kinds of startups and entrepreneurs so they can participate in the upside, right? So these things are making it easier for smaller and smaller companies to throw their chips into the game and to move forward on their concepts to solve problems and make a new business. Basically to invent the next generation of new device categories. That's really what we're looking for. And developers are the fuel for this. The developers are the innovators, the startups, the entrepreneurs. And you can see based on this forecast from Vision Mobile, which is a research company that focuses on developer ecosystem research, their projection is that we're already at 4.5 individual developers around the world working on IoT devices or solutions, and they're expecting that to more than double by 2020. So that's a tremendous pool of talent around the world that's recognizing IoT is that next wave. You know, we haven't seen a wave like that perhaps in 10, 15 years. Mobile data and mobile apps was the last really huge wave, and ever since then, the industry has been growing. What is the next wave that's going to create the next hockey stick of growth and opportunities for developers, consumers, the enterprise, technology providers? It's IoT, and developers are very swift to see that and adopt and bring their ideas to market. Now, 2020 in India is a very exciting projection here about what the future will look like. And you know, what we're seeing is a GDP, 5 trillion, 856 million working age people, 35 years old or less. We're also seeing 2.7 billion connected devices. That's a forecast. And the world's largest developer base in a single country being located in India. Over 5 million developers based here, which would make India the #1 country for developers across the globe. Currently, it's the United States. And it's supported by multiple initiatives. Of course, the government had Digital India put in place, which I think is accelerating the creation of developers of all kinds. And companies like NASSCOM, who's our partner in organizing this event, are other examples of how local entities are going to help drive this innovation and support the innovation from the local talent. And then companies like MediaTek, who will, you know, come in and invest in the country and hire, you know, local talent and put in facilities and sponsor local events, make our platforms available, support them, support those developers who are adopting our platforms, and help them go from idea to concept and from concept to product. And MediaTek Labs, which is the organization I've created and I lead globally, you know, is there to support the developers. A lot of our support is web-based. We have a web portal in English as well as in Mandarin, and it's there to support device creation. It's there to support app development and services. And it's specifically to help the entrepreneurs and the startups who have their ideas easily get to concept, and from concept to leverage our partners globally to help them prototype and bring their idea to market. So we have things like technical support, we have cloud management, cloud services, we have business development folks that are there to help guide and give feedback on business cases or make introductions. We have SDKs that are there for download. We have a hardware kit we provide through our partner channels. So there's a lot of an aggregation of resources there for those who have the ideas and the talent. And here's the high-level flow. How does it work? The developer comes with their idea. They download the SDK. They get their hands on a hardware kit, whether it's from an incubation partner or they order it themselves online. They attach their sensors. They use our free cloud sandbox, MediaTek Cloud Sandbox, which is there to enable developers to quickly start using a cloud service to support their concept creation, prove out their concept. And then from there, once their concept is working, they engage with our developer relations team to talk about matchmaking. How do they get their prototype made, or what other factors they need to account for before they start entering into our supply chain. And we have supply chains of all kinds. We have design houses, ODMs, we have regulatory compliance companies, prototypers, companies that will do PCB layouts, do piloting. So it's a wide range of companies that support our developers. And we have 3 core offerings right now. We have the Linkit One, which is Arduino-based. We have the Linkit Assist 2502, which supports the Eclipse IDE, and it's more targeted towards very experienced and professional developers trying to make commercial-grade products very early in their design cycle. We also have the 7681, which is to simply Wi-Fi enable any kind of a product, whether it's a smart bulb, a smart lock, a remote control toy, a basic appliance. So those are our 3 offerings, plus the MediaTek Cloud Services Sandbox. It completes the circle, allows a developer to compile data on their concept in the sandbox, to remotely control it through a smartphone or a tablet. They can also remotely upgrade their device. They can replace the firmware in their Linkit board, and they also have dashboards to monitor their activity through their concept, do their testing, and monitor the success of their product. And here are screenshots of just a few developers who've created demos and concepts and have been working with us, everything from remote-controlled drones and remote-controlled wheeled vehicles. There's smart appliances. There's wearable products for adults and for seniors. There's tracking devices for M2M or for people. We've got agricultural products. We have all kinds of sensor hubs. So it's really an exciting array of products that have been created in the short time that Labs has existed. We launched just over a year ago, and we just set up our team here in India in the second quarter of the year. We're very delighted with how many developers have engaged with our team here in Bangalore and made significant progress with their concepts. And at that, I'd like to thank you for your attention. I think we're finishing just on time. And hope you have a very good show. Hope to meet some of you during the day. Thank you.